and, and our academic partner, Higher Planner. And next speaker, please.
So let's start with our introduction. Next slide, please. IOCC is an accredited project found by the students of Ritsumeikan APU. IOCC is an inclusive case-solving competition with numerous academic and networking sessions incorporated into it. Our aim is to create the most inclusive and diverse case competition that supports students around the world to develop themselves. Next slide, please. Next, we will introduce our executive board. Let's begin with our co-founder and chairperson, Islam Muhammad Muntazir. Next is Rizane Rizvi, our co-founder and deputy chair. Unfortunately for the two of them, they couldn't be present in today's session. And my name is Steven. I'm the co-head from Data Analysis and Communications Department.
Hello, everybody. I am Tanya from BR and Finance Department.
Hello, everyone. I'm Helena. I'm from the HR department.
Hi, everyone. I'm Han from Marketing Department.
My name is Hiromi Koyama. Feel free to call me Hiro. Great to see you.
Hello, my name is Tomo, and I am from the academic department. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Roy, and I'm proud to be the academic head. Pleasure.
Okay, so next we want to introduce you about our points of difference. So there are a lot of case competition out there. So what make IOCC stand out from them? So first of all, we are online. So that means that you can participate in IOCC wherever you are. So all of our section and the competition itself will be held on Zoom. Secondly, we are international. In IOCC, you can meet and compete with teams from all over the world. And not only will you get a chance to see the way they solve a case competition, but you will also have we also have academic section and networking section where you can meet with them and actually connect with them. And you can also meet professionals and professors from all around the world. And finally, we are inclusive. So our preliminary round has 8 categories, and our category go beyond the usual thing that you will find in a business case competition. That means that people from different majors can join in IOCC as well. So as I mentioned before, we have different kind of section. And so the first type of section we have is Case Competition 101, which had been held in the beginning of March, but today we will also try to cover the basic of Case Competition 101. So in case you missed the section at the beginning of March, you can catch up on today's section. And next we have academic section, which is an opportunity to learn from professionals from different fields about a variety of topics. And finally, we have a networking section. A networking section is to help participants and staff to interact with each other and to build networks. And as I mentioned before, we have people joining from all around the world, so you will have a chance to meet people from many different countries. And this weekend, we will have 2 upcoming sections. First is networking section with an activity called What If, and it will be held on March 26th, Saturday, and the time will be 1 p.m. Japan Standard Time. And if you want to join the section, please scan the QR code here to register or click on the link that I will send shortly in the chat to register. And we will also have an academic section with the topic of how to become an entrepreneur as an international in Japan. And it will be held on March 27th, Sunday, and the time will be 5 p.m. Japan Standard Time. And you just need to get the Zoom ID here and access the section. Next slide, please. So talking about the preliminary categories. We have 8 categories to offer. The first one is modern media and journalism, where we will be discussing the recent hot topic in journalism. Secondly is data and innovation, which, as we all know, data has been an important part of business nowadays. And the third category is e-commerce and tourism, which we will also be discussing about the impact of COVID-19 on these two categories. And the fourth one is environment and food. The fifth one is cultural integration and inclusive leadership, which has become a hot topic in management these days. And the sixth one is sustainable development and the economy. As you all know, with the SDG goals, this has also come into discussion recently. And the seventh one is risk management and strategic investment. And finally, we have ethical business and supply chain management.
So now let's talk about the competition format. The whole competition, other than its academic sessions and networking sessions, is divided into 3 formats, which is preliminary, semifinals, and grand finals. For preliminary round, the applications are open globally and they are open now as well. And all the teams will receive a 48-hour case challenge corresponding to the category they choose. In this round, they will be required to only submit their presentation slides. Moving on to semifinals, 16 teams will progress from preliminary round, and a new case for 24 hours will be given to them to solve. In this round, they will also have to submit their presentation slides. However, they will have their presentations and Q&A on the 24th of April via Zoom. Lastly, we will have our grand finals, which is going to be held on May 1st via Zoom, in which only 4 teams will progress and they will get a new case for 24 hours again. Okay, now I would like to talk about eligibility and rules. So anyone who's a graduate or an undergraduate student currently enrolled in a university or has graduated 6 months prior to our preliminary round is eligible to participate. However, we do require your proof of enrollment during our semifinals round. Any participant wanting to register should register in a team of 4 members, and students from different universities can also join a same team. Any amount of teams can join from one particular university, and that shall not be a problem as well. Moving on to the schedule. So as you already know, we have the applications starting on the 5th of March, and then we did our case competition 101 session, followed by our networking in academic session. Currently, we are on the 23rd of March, where we're doing our information and case competition session 101. And following, we have our networking session, followed by our 2 academic sessions to be held by the end of March. Our applications will close on the 2nd of April, where after that, we will follow our competition with orientation session and releasing the preliminary case on 15th of April. Since preliminary case round is going to be a 48-hour case challenge, you will have your submissions on the 17th, followed by further networking and academic sessions held by a variety of people coming from various industries. And then we have our semifinal round where you have 24 hours and the submission will be on the 23rd, followed by finalist announcements on 28th, and our final case will be released on 29th. Lastly, we will have our grand finale on 1st of May.
So case competition 101, again, is to explore the basics of case competition with our mentors. Don't worry if you miss it, the session recording can actually be found in our website and Facebook live stream. Next slide, please. Next, what is case competition itself? It's an event where you create the best solution to a business case study within set rules and guidelines. It can be for individuals or a team, and contestants need to submit or pitch their solution to judges. Next slide, please. But what is business case and case analysis? Business case are written reports created to discuss the background, situation, costs, risk, and the decisions that need to be made, while case analysis is the decision-making approach used to evaluate potential business decisions. Next slide, please.
Why should you join? We all have undergone some form of the education system for a good majority of our lives now. An unfortunate truth we all realize is that tests and grades do not reflect real-world jobs and careers. It is certainly not nothing to have an impressive grade, but I think we can all agree that it isn't everything either. Critical thinking that aids in real-world problem solving, the ability to ask questions that can save a company billions, to work in a team. Those are the reasons you are being paid. Sharpen your knife here. Next slide, please. When forming a team, a good team is a balanced team, a team that can support each member's weaknesses while leveraging on their individual strengths. Throughout my time working to organize business case competitions, sometimes what a team really needs is to trust one another. Trust is the willingness to speak openly about disagreements and mistakes, and apologizing for misunderstandings. It can make or break a team. Next slide, please. Now, this right here is the general structure of the case. It would do you a world of good to start using as many tools and models that you have ever learned and have ever read from any books and any schools and courses you might have taken. How do you know if a model or business analysis tool actually works? By using it, of course, by testing its legitimacy through the fire of reality. A book that teaches a brilliant business tool that can help in analyzing business cases. For example, one that I personally recommend is The Grid by Matt Watkinson. It's personally my go-to tool to measure a company's health, and your team might have their preferred tool as well. It's a very good canvas to test out your approach. Thank you very much. Next slide, please.
All right, so IOCC will have closed and open cases. The closed case is where contestants can use resources provided within the case, whereas open case grants contestants freedom to research outside resources in the solving process. Next, please. Okay, so now our fellow staff member, Mika, will show you how to manage your time in a 48-hour case cracking session.
Hi guys, my name's Mika. I'm currently a third year APM student, and today I'll be sharing with you some tips on how you can manage your time during a 48-hour case competition. First of all, you should write a timeline on how you want to use and spend those 48 hours you're given. You can definitely use the times that I'm sharing here with you as a base and then tweak it to fit into your team. You shouldn't take more than, let's say, 10 minutes on this. After that, you can start reading the case for roughly 2 hours, depending on the size of it. While reading, you should also highlight or underline the key issues of the case. Then afterwards, you come together with your team and you should share insight and discuss the issues of the case given to you. During that time frame, it's very important that you share as much information with your members as possible, because at the end, everyone has to agree on common issues. After you find out the common issues, you can give yourself a small 20-minute break. After the break ends, you come back and then you start doing research. Let's say another 3 to 4 hours. Research is really important in order to come up with good solutions. However, you should spend the most time crafting and thinking of solutions and strategies for the case. So for this, you want to come together with your team and then spend roughly 4 to 6 hours just thinking and brainstorming together. Once your team has come up with some rough solutions and strategies, please call it a day. This activity is arguably the most important during a case competition, because this is the time that you take to eat, relax, and sleep. Take at least 10 hours for this, because in order for your brain to work well, your body also needs to be well. So the next day, after you wake up and get ready, come back to yesterday's work just to give yourself a quick refresher. Because it was only a rough solution, you probably need to do some more additional research, so let's give it another hours. After your team is confident that you've gathered all the necessary material, come together and then finalize the solutions and strategies for 2 hours. Once your team has finalized all of the solutions, you can finally start working on the PPT. Because the PowerPoint slides usually have a lot of information on them, you can spend 4 to 6 hours on this, with a lot of water breaks in between, of course. Once your team thinks that your presentation looks just fine, you can finally start practicing the presentation. Case presentations take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, so if you give yourself 2 hours to practice, that is a whole 4 rounds where you can practice a full presentation. At last, your team has finished practicing, you've finished doing the PPT, you have thought of a perfect solution, perfect strategies to this case. Take at least, please, 15 minutes to double check and even triple check everything that you've written down and everything that you've practiced for one last time, and then when you feel ready, submit. I really hope that this was helpful to you, and please stay tuned for more tips from us later. Bye!
Okay, so we also have our social medias and websites up. So give it a scan, give it a follow. We have constant updates too. So yeah, please check it out. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you everyone for the presentation. So participant, if you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself to ask us, or you can also send the question in the chat. So I received a question that may I know who will be the judges? So maybe Roy and Tomo from academic, can you explain about the judge?
Okay, this question, could you emphasize, because we have a lot of different stages. Yes, we have the preliminary, we have the semifinals and the finals. Is your inquiry on judges overall? If your questions are on judges overall, then you would be pleased to know that for the preliminary, for the semifinals and final round, we will have a mix of judges from a whole host of different universities, not just including our university APU, but rather from numerous other universities around the world, in order to ensure fairness in marking criteria. If that does not satisfy your question, please type in the text chat so that we can, properly clarify and understand your question to answer your question. Thank you very much.
Okay, it looks like our participant has got the answer. Thank you for your answer.
Happy to help.
Does anybody else have a question? If not, then yeah, we would like to conclude our session here today. In case you guys have any questions, please feel free to send us any questions on our social media and our email. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Have a good night or a good morning wherever you are. I see someone joining right now, guys.
Wait, did he just join in?
Yeah, I think his audio is connecting. Let's just
Let's
wait
see.
for that. Hi,
Hello.
Risham, I guess. Thank you for joining the session. Actually, we were just concluding. Since you've missed out on the information given in this session, please feel free to check it out on our SNS. We were live, so the video must be there. And we will soon upload it on the website as well. So
Han, could you private message Risham the link to our SNS, please, so that they can view the live stream or like the recording?
Oh, yes, yes.
Did you send it, Han?
Yep, already sent it.
Okay, Risham, just to clarify, once again, we have actually concluded our presentation, and Han here has sent you a link to view the live stream of our presentation that we've just done. However, before you leave, if you would have any questions whatsoever that you'd like to ask us about IOCC, please feel free. If not, then we wish you a very good day. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day.
thank you for joining.
Really?
What's going on, everyone? Okay.
Dude, who joins? Who joins